Hello there, I'm DJ Lady Loy on behalf of Gold Standard Radio this evening, or today, this afternoon, depending on which part of the world you are. But I wanted to talk about whether or not, if AI creates a voice that sounds just like the original established artist, is that illegal? So I want to talk directly to recording artists, producers, selectors, sound system operators, spoken word performers, and independent musicians because a conversation that started in a radio chat room has opened up a much bigger issue about identity, ownership, and the future of music. A fellow DJ who's been living in the United States raised a question about AI dubplate websites that allow users to generate vocals that sound remarkably like established Jamaican artists. The idea is simple. You choose a voice associated with a well known artist, type your own lyrics, and the system produces a synthetic dubplate in that style. For people outside reggae culture, this might sound like a novelty. For people inside the culture, it touches on something deeper. A dubplate has never been just another audio file. It represents a relationship between an artist and a sound system. It carries exclusivity, reputation, and authenticity. When a selector says, I've got a special from this artist, the value comes from the fact that the artist actually voiced it. What AI is doing is challenging that assumption. Now, many listeners immediately react by saying, surely that must be illegal. The surprising answer is it depends on where you are, and it depends on what exactly is being copied. Here in the United Kingdom, the law protects songs, lyrics, compositions, sound recordings, and performances. But there is currently no automatic standalone right that says a person owns the sound of their voice in the same way they own copyright in a song. To clarify, in the UK, you do not automatically own your own voice. That means if an AI system creates a completely new recording that merely sounds like a famous artist, the legal position is not clear cut as most people assume. If the company copied actual recordings, sampled vocals, or reused protected material, that would be a much stronger copyright issue. But creating a synthetic imitation that evokes the artist's vocal identity falls into a much greyer area of UK law. If I was to say that AI comes with special privileges, that statement is coming from a real place. The law was designed to protect creative works, not necessarily synthetic creations of a human identity. The conversation becomes even more interesting when we look at the United States. In the US, many states recognized what are called publicity rights. These rights can protect a celebrity's name, image, likeness, and in some cases their distinctive voice from unauthorized commercial exploitation. There was a famous American case involving singer Bette Midler, where an advertiser used a sound-alike singer to imitate her voice. Even though they did not use her actual recording, the court recognized that deliberately evoking her vocal identity for commercial purposes could violate her rights. That is a very important distinction for musicians. In the UK, the question is often, was the protected recording copied? In the US, the question may also become, was the artist's recognizable identity commercially exploited? So a platform that openly markets AI Buju Banton dubplates would potentially face a much more serious challenge in parts of the United States than it might under current UK law. At this point, many artists ask the obvious follow-up question. If the website has terms and conditions saying users are responsible for what they create, does that transfer all the risk to the customer? The answer is no, not completely. Those disclaimers are designed to protect the company, but they are not a magic shield. A platform may say users are responsible for their content, the voices are there for entertainment or parody, no endorsement by the artist is implied, users must respect third-party rights. That wording can help the company argue that it is not authorizing infringement, but courts usually look beyond the small print and ask, what is the company actually doing? If a platform simply provides a general AI voice tool and a user independently misuses it, the user may carry a significant share of the liability. So, for example, a DJ pays for one of those AI-generated dub plates that sounds like Buju Banton, for example, and makes out like it is Buju Banton that created the dub plate for him or her, that the DJ, in that case, the DJ could be sued. But if the platform provides a database of famous artist names, advertises recognizable Jamaican voices, targets sound system culture, and profits specifically because customers want those famous vocal identities, then the company itself becomes much more deeply involved in the activity. A useful way to think about this is if someone sells counterfeit designer goods, the customer who uses them may be doing something wrong, but that does not automatically protect the manufacturer or the distributor who built a business around the imitation. For selectors and radio DJs, there is another practical issue that often gets overlooked. Playing an AI dub plate privately at home is very different from using it in a public clash, a live stream, a radio broadcast, a YouTube video, or monetized event. The moment you use that recording to attract an audience, promote a brand, win a clash, or generate income, the legal and ethical stakes become much higher. And I think this is where the debate connects directly with the video I uploaded earlier this week about cultural appropriation and identity. Reggae and dancehall have always borrowed, evolved, and influenced the world. Artists inspire one another constantly. A young DJ might naturally be influenced by Buju Banton, Sizzla or Capleton, just as singers in every genre have echoes of those who came before them. But there is a difference between being influenced by an artist and creating a synthetic performance that makes listeners believe that artist has spoken when they have not, or that artists have dubbed a track when they have not. That is why so many musicians feel uncomfortable with this technology. Their voice is not just a tool, it is a part of their life story. It carries their accent, their experiences, their struggles, their spirituality, their humour, their pain, and their connection with the audience. A machine may be able to reproduce the sound, but it has not lived the life that created that sound. For independent artists listening, this discussion is not only about international stars, it's about all of us. Today, the headline may mention legendary Jamaican artists, but tomorrow AI could imitate a local gospel singer, a community radio presenter, a spoken word poet, or a voiceover artist who has spent years building recognition. So what should musicians take away from this? First, understand your rights. Know the difference between copyright performers' rights and publicity or likeness rights. Second, read the terms of any AI platform carefully before uploading your voice recordings or performances. Third, be transparent with your audience. If something is AI generated, label it honestly. Trust is becoming one of the most valuable currencies in music. And finally, remember that technology itself is not the enemy. AI can assist with production, editing, restoration, translation, accessibility, and creative experimentation. The real challenge is making sure that human creativity is not erased, exploited, or misrepresented in the process. The dubplate culture was built on authenticity, relationships, and respect between artists and sound systems. As AI becomes more powerful, preserving that respect may be just as important as preserving the music itself. This is Lady Loy on Gold Standard Radio. Excellence, not perfection. No ordinary radio station. This programme discusses general legal and industry issues surrounding AI-generated voices in music. That's all for now. Bye-bye.